All right, so the nightmare's not over yet because we're gonna look at the entire value stream. Most people, when they're talking about machines or making purchases, they're just looking at their one little slice from the front of their machine to the back of their machine, and almost like nothing else matters, when it couldn't be more opposite. Everything else matters. So we're doing this video showing the entire value stream from the time the doors show up to the time we got 2 coats of primer and ready for top coat. So we're gonna look at that whole thing and analyze it. So we've got the raw sanding out of the way. Now the nightmare still continues with finishing. So now we've got to start priming them. And there's a very good chance you're in batch mode, which means which is what I'm simulating. We're gonna sand 20 doors, then we're gonna spray 20 doors, then we're gonna wait for 20 doors to dry, then we're gonna spray 20 doors again, then we're gonna bring them back and sand 20 doors. So I said I'd never hand sand again in the last video, and I just realized I have to hand sand all that primer for this video. But I'll get it done. Okay, we've got one coat of primer on the backs of the doors, and it's like killing me inside to process them this way, but listen, this is what we're trying to show people. But I want to give you a hint about, because right now we've got this, and we're gonna put it either off to the side to air dry, or maybe you've got an oven with some heaters, you're gonna put it in there, and you know, to the best of my knowledge, I think it's like 10 minutes in the oven, and then 10 minutes it's got to cool down, and then you can spray them again. So however you dry them, that's fine. But it took, I think, we'll have to look at the thing, I think 16 minutes to spray them all. So here's the hint I want to give you. This door, sorry, the last one I sprayed is soaking wet. The first one I sprayed is 16 minutes into its dry cycle, but it's still sitting on the same rack. So now all of these are going to go into the drying area, however you're doing it, which should be hint number one, that the first door is pretty much almost dry before you put it in there. So you're only putting it in for the last half. So we're going to keep going this way, but I think you're going to like what's coming. So we need a little summary on that video. And so we're hand spraying, no problem. And that took 16 minutes. So we have 16 minutes of hand spraying. And then that's on the front side. And then we have to dry it. So you take that rack and you move it to wherever you're doing your drying, whether it's an oven or air dryer or whatever. So you have to do the math for your process there. So you have spray time, 16 minutes, dry time, you know, air dry, 30 minutes, oven dry, 20 minutes, whatever yours is, 20 minutes. Then we go back to spray the other side, which is 16 more minutes plus dry time. So you have 16 plus 30, 46, and then another 46. So in about an hour and a half, you're done one coat of spraying on both sides of one rack. That was a mouthful. Let's just make sure we got that right. One rack, 20 doors, 1 hour and a half by the time you spray, dry, flip, spray, dry. We got it. So we're just gonna use math to do the rest of the process. We know it's an hour and a half to do one coat. So then in between there, we have sanding, which is a separate video in this playlist. So just go to the next video and you'll see how long it takes for sanding by hand versus sanding with the machine, depending on which video you watch. And then we just put an hour and a half on the other end. So our spray time, including drying, is about 3 hours from start to finish, not including sanding. That's a separate, horrifically painful video because I demonstrate hand sanding once again. And hand sanding is a dirty word around here.